Here we are again. Here it's time for North America. The second last day of the online Counter-Strike to see who faces MIBR in tomorrow's final. The winner of this week goes to LAN. Kind of like the other weeks, actually. First 3 weeks. Fifth week seems to be somewhat similar. Welcome back to the studio. If you were tuned in for our action, we had some carnage on Vertigo in the European part of the show, and now we're back here for North America. Dan, Eric, Bardolph. Let's have a look at the format and give you guys a reminder of how the format has changed in the last 2 weeks versus the first 3 weeks. First 3 weeks, if you won the week, you went to LAN. The last 2 weeks are a combination of the prize money, but in this particular stage of the bracket, which we'll see in a second, we have come to a point where win the bracket and you win your place in the finals. Below you can see the teams who have been participating this particular week, and you'll see how their stories have continued or ended in the bracket. So here we go, MIBR have made their way to the finals, 2-0ing Cloud9 in an entertaining day of Counter-Strike yesterday. INTZ with an upset win over Luminosity make it to a David versus Goliath matchup here versus the likes of Team Liquid. They're going to be a very heavy favourite coming into this. This is our one and only match today here in North America, and we'll soon find out what the veto is. Guys, is there any way for INTZ in this game?
No, absolutely not.
It's just Team Liquid are okay. Last year they were top 2 team in the world for the entire year. They moved Taco, added Stewie and Adren as a coach. And although in some respects you could argue that, why mess with a winning formula, they obviously decided that there was something wrong with that. And you know what? They went into so many grand finals, then they didn't come out with many wins. They got loads of grand finals, but imagine how frustrating that must have been, knowing that because they're playing to be the best in the world, and they weren't the best in the world. So that's something they're trying to solve. So Stewie, I think there's a lot of merit to that pickup. I think Adren also, great coach. I feel like the addition of Adren is actually great timing because Zeus instilled a culture. That's what he really did very well. Then that stays with the team. They have the same core, basically. He helped mature that core of players, and now you got the tactical mastermind there who's going to be better suited to dealing, I think, with inputting on getting really nice counter strats if they're required, and innovating on any new maps that might come out and preparing the team in that sense. I think that's really cool, and that's a good addition. I think that Team Liquid is still like one of the most consistent teams. So they are one of the truest tests you can possibly have in Counter-Strike. They're not going to lose a map against the worst team.
Okay. Eric, do you agree?
I agree. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much right. Team Liquid, one of the best in the world, and you're playing against INTZ, who we saw a couple days. They've had a lot of problems, a lot of just fundamental problems, and game plan is non-existent. They look they're hesitating. They look unsure of what they're doing, and that's not a good recipe to beat a team like Team Liquid.
Who will start to, by the way, if they detect weakness, they will start to get hyper-aggressive, I think, and not disrespect their opponents, but take as much as is given to them.
That will be a very interesting. Let's look at the battleground, see where these teams are going to play each other. The Vetoes! It is time for the Vetoes. Overpass taken up by INTZ, Train taken up by Liquid. I see, okay, the Vertigo has been taken up by Liquid late. Mirage, Dust2, and Inferno. Dust2 picked by Team Liquid. That's quite interesting versus INTZ. It's a simpler map, which I feel like probably helps INTZ in some ways, although, well, they will need help in this. So I think that's a plus for them. Mirage picked by INTZ. I'm curious to see what they will bring to the table. Anything stand out to you guys here in this veto?
I mean, I think Dust2 is a kind of a standout. Maybe Team Liquid just wants to practice that map. Maybe put in the match because they're playing against INTZ. Not the most formidable team, but it's still good practice. Why not throw a new map? Why not change a curveball? See something different. See something new.
What does stand out is this clock behind me. 267 days since we could draw on the map. In about 3 hours, it will become 268 days. We will keep you aware of this because it is very important for us to communicate to you, for people like Sean Gares to communicate to his audiences, for every audience to learn more and be better at the game. We need to be able to draw on the map. Pinnacle odds. It is time for, well, not odds, predictions. It's time for the Pinnacle predictions. I'm going first. I'm not following any of you guys, okay? I'm going to pick Team Liquid.
Wow, that's a really surprising pick. I was going to pick Team Liquid too.
Why are you copying me, Eric?
I'm looking at your advice and your knowledge, and it's inspiring me to pick.
Give me the horse.
Dan wants a horse. Your birthday has come and gone, Dan. You got to wait until next year. Connor, any curveballs from you today?
Not today.
Not today.
Straight shooter.
All right, fan predictions now. I would expect about at least 27% for INTZ because Brazil's fan base.
How is that possible?
You see, you've got to know these things, man.
It's just blind, just picking though. You know.
I respect it.
Yeah.
That's love. That's love. They're staying behind their Brazilian team. They're going down on the ship. If the ship's going down, they're going to go down.
You have to be hopeful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think Brazil's a country where you have like soccer level support in esports, which is fantastic. It's like when we did Blast Istanbul, and it was very much reminded me of when like Manchester United would play Galatasaray. It was just absolutely crazy. The hissling, the booing, and it was such a vocal.
Wait, did you say hissling?
I meant to say whistling. I did say hissling.
I think you want to say hissing.
I'm thinking hissing. Yeah, I do that a lot. I'd say two words at once, and weird things happen. Whistling.
You should get that checked out, James.
Maybe I should. Whistling and booing. It was absolutely wild, but I feel like that is it's almost patriotic.
I like it
in a way. It's good. It's the strongest feeling I think you'll get in esports. So I love that percentage is there for INTZ.
As long as it's not too hateful, you know. It's all good fun, right?
Yeah.
All good fun, guys.
Now it's time for the pinnacle odds. I expect some crazy stuff here.
All
right, we got a solid 5.46 for INTZ, and I think these are reasonable odds. I think you could even go further with these because Team Liquid, while being one of the top two teams, they are, well, I guess both they and Astralis are some of the most disciplined teams. But I always think of as Team Liquid when I think of discipline. For the longest time really, they've always been the team where you can see the discipline. I can't talk today. I can't do it. Why can't I talk today?
They just don't. They're not a team that will concede against lower quality opponents because of the structure that they have.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of teams that are more loose and individually based. Like if you gave me FaZe, I'm like, you know what? There's a world in the best of 3 where a map can be taken, not necessarily by INTZ, but some other teams because they're not as structured in their approach. So, yeah.
They're pub stompers.
Yeah.
Stomp noobs.
They're not going to give you anything.
And
they're never going to give you anything. They're not going to get carried away with a situation.
They're too structured.
And part of it too is like the professionalism, because the mentality of Team Liquid is really cool. I think what everyone should aspire to, where it's not about the opponent. It's about playing your game in a way which is most optimal as you possibly can. Doesn't matter about the opponent. The opponent's not an excuse to play worse. Counter-Strike. Because it's more fun. It's more of a professionalism thing, I think, which I respect massively because it's rare to see that in esports.
Yeah, that's good. I think the old Mousesports lineup were a weird example of where, I mean, not where a lack of discipline can go wrong, but they would have some wild games of Inferno online, for example, but they were extremely entertaining, so that isn't really the opposite end of the spectrum. That's actually a unicorn, so I don't know why I brought that up. But anyway, here we go. Team Liquid will be starting on the CT side. Nitro's got 2 flashes and a defuse kit. We've got decoys on both Stewie and Twist, which I think we could see more.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, this is like a Cloud9-esque pop flash play on a pistol round, and that's beautiful. Absolutely devastating stuff, but Nafly's only good for that 1 frag. Nice tap from Nitro, but it's 2 for 2.
All right, we got some nice one-shots from Liquid, but otherwise it's just the 2 kills. You could have expected a lot more, but Twist will be able to deliver 1 more, maybe another one. There it is. The bomb is down on the ground as Destiny looks, and he does not like what he sees. He does not like what he sees. However, there is still a chance to bring this one back, and Destiny's going to do it. Gets the quad kill, and I'm sure the Brazilian fans will be roaring because that was quite a clutch. A 1 versus 3 to complete the quad kill. Destiny kicking things off well for INTZ, giving them the money, the cash prize.
That CT setup on B from Team Liquid reminded me of an old Cloud9 pistol run. I don't know if Stewie had something to do with that. Where you'd see, I think Skadoodle holding a pop flash for Tarek, who was peeking in the apartments. They did it versus Ninjas in Pajamas once. I made a video about it. And the pop flash was absolutely devastating. People were running into walls, couldn't see anything. That one was a pop flash with cover. From the window, you can stand in front of it, and there's a mark on the wall. You can find a video online.
And very quickly, I like how he peeked first to draw everyone's attention towards that spot.
Yeah, eat
baiting
the
them
pop flash.
into the pop flash, which is pretty mental. And he actually got a kill from it too. But they still lost the round. We do have a force buy from pretty much everyone except Snapbuy though, and Stewie. And it's being eliminated pretty easily.
So far, so good for INTZ. Nitro with the scout. A good start for INTZ so far. Some fast rounds. Solid stuff. A positive start for them. And they'll need it. You saw the odds. The Shadow Daggers. Oh, Alicia's got himself a knife. What is he doing with... well, it is skinless, of course. But stat track as well. Alicia is a man with stock everything.
Wait, that's not skin. It's like it's black.
Are they Shadow?
I don't know. I've never
No,
had
they're Shadow Daggers, but like Knight or something.
I don't know. I've never had those before. Never seen them.
I bought them once.
The only person I know that it hates skins or is against skins is Threat, I think. I've never known anybody else
He puts
to
his jeans in a
resist.
freezer to wash them, so...
What? Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
It's also absolute bollocks.
What does that do?
just makes them cold.
It's supposed to kill the bacteria, but it's not. I would not recommend doing it.
But what have you got to lose? Not much.
The idea is also that like after 4 days, you know, that's like the maximum level of bacteria the genes are going to have anyways. So
But that builds
why bother
resistance.
washing them?
That builds resistance. You know, you got to have resistance in the future.
I think you should use modern technology the way it's supposed to be used
Don't be
to achieve proper hygiene, as that's one of the reasons why we these days live so long.
I bought Shadow Daggers when they first came out. I was like, I must have these. And I was like, I don't like these.
No one
And
likes
then
them.
I sold them.
They're like the red-headed stepchild of knives.
Smokes up from INTZ. 37 seconds as they move into the site. We've spoken about INTZ recently and the timings and so on, so not too much to add to this. The bomb's been dropped. There's still time for error correction though, so it's better than we normally see. They've all been tagged. Twist could do some damage here. Everybody could get one shot. Yell's been taken out by a USP, and that's a UMP picked up by Lee. She's got nothing to lose. He's got nothing to lose. This is a winnable round for Team Liquid.
Yeah, Twist needs to get into position though. He needs to connect something with the Deagle, because Connect is a little bit open to approach from at this point. When you know any peak could arrive like that. Ooh, he does get the dink though, and there it is, finished off. And they've got to move very quickly at this point because they have no kit. It's like Twist will. Is he going to try to save the UMP? What's he up to here? I mean, as you say, like
He's gonna try to get
going
the
for
AK.
damage is
After the bomb blows up.
oh, this is potentially very dangerous for INTZ, but they did manage to survive with the 2 players. And is there an AK to be found? He's not going to check the connector position. Okay.
I'm guessing the bomb wasn't going to send it his way.
Right. Quick note for those of you, educational note. When Stewie was playing triple with a Deagle there and he saw the smokes coming in, he did not face a ramp to catch people coming up a ramp. He waited. One, for them to get closer, and also, you know, that means that, you know, it's harder to hit a longer range shot and they're going to be looking towards that position, but as they come into the site, they're looking all over the place. So they're closer, easier shot, more distracted. So nice little educational note for you guys at home.
Watching the corner of the smoke, big headshot from Elige. It's important to communicate that as well. Come in the window, I'll often look at the smoke and say, connector's open, so you better watch out. Stewie with an off angle, AWP in the apartments. Loves an AWP in apartments. On the Cloud9 team, you might see him in connector with an AWP when they needed that extra gear. Very effective. Disbanded after winning a major, of course. Cello creeping in Palace, a minute 10 on the clock for INTZ. They love taking it slow. But a 4 versus 5 early doesn't bode well for this T side. Raw peak will be punished. And then there were 3.
Flash into the face of Yell. Kanji with the opener towards Catwalk, finding a curious Nitro, but they're losing numbers here. as they make their way towards the side. But Kianji, what a great round! Connects with Twist as well. Although the box will keep Twist alive for the moment, but Yell to follow it up. Now leaving Naf on the bomb side. Do they know where he is? Can he stop Kianji? He can. He finds his back, and he finds the clutch as he finishes it off with the triple. Good timing there from Naf. Picked the moment. It was the right one.
What a roller coaster of a round that was. Team Liquid getting up to 5-on-3 and then bringing it all the way down. INTZ brings it back to 2-on-1. And I was going to say that Team Liquid having a really good read on INTZ's game plan. INTZ's been playing super slow. Lots of timeouts on their T sides where they're just dragging out the round. So Team Liquid on their first gun round, they went right away to a double op setup. And that usually is really a good strategy against teams that just slow lurks and just creeps and waits.
It's also a big confidence maneuver too, because your economy is not yet secured. And top teams will like to cut corners in some instances, but generally it's one of those corners I don't often see cut. Again, when you're playing like this when you're playing a very intense match against a team that's like on a similar level, you'll see them try to make sure that they hold on to their economy. They won't buy the AWP. Maybe they can pick one up if they win the round, and so on and so forth. But yeah, as you say, I really like the point that you made there. I think it's very, very nice. And INTZ, you know, they have Kianji, and as we just saw, he's the man to watch out for as far as the guy that can really turn the tide. And it's with maneuvers such as what he just showed us with that AWP. That's the kind of stuff that we can expect from him. And they need everyone firing up on all cylinders here, INTZ, to defeat the likes of Team Liquid. Liquid with a two-man setup towards the apps here. They're playing really passively around middle. You can see that they're playing two around the balcony on A as well. So that's a pretty smart way to do it.
I wonder how a team like Liquid, in a full buy, will utilize their utility when they know INTZ are going to just try and dry them out. You can see no real flash plays, just complete silence, walking around. Another team, you might see a flash from top mid to take this position, but it seems that INTZ want to give zero information away. So they've lost a man, but Yell has made his way through Connector into the jungle position, and there's no one to do anything about it. Nafly will take Destiny out for free. Very unorthodox round from INTZ, but they're making their way towards CT spawn, and it seems that the CTs are unprepared. Stewie moving around, hasn't quite seen Yell, so they've been caught off guard, which is very surprising in this situation. Nafly by the ladder position, not quite working out for him. Down to a 2 versus 2. How on earth do you deal with this? Well, it's down to the 1 versus 1 now. Nitro of the MP9 doesn't have the range. He's top mid. Maybe he finds a weapon if he goes up cat. Or will he jump straight down? It will be the latter. Jump peeking. May see the trajectory from triple, but there's no telling if KNG is still there or in CT.
KNG, will he try for a peek? He will, and he finds the good timing for it. That's beautiful. That is a very nice round win for INTZ to really make issues for the money of Team Liquid's. And INTZ, you know, we saw, if I'm a Dren, or rather if I'm a Team Liquid, I'd imagine Dren's probably checked out some of the INTZ demos ahead of this game, presumably, and you know, you can see that slow pace at work. I think that's one of the reasons why we saw Stewie going for the solo peak and connected down to underpass at 49 seconds, which actually is quite late, honestly. But if you have an understanding that this is a team that plays very slow, then that's the kind of timings that you're working with. It'll be interesting to see how Liquid deals with this, especially coming off of like starting the game with the back onto the back foot of things. It'll be cool to see how they adjust. And also how INTZ play favorable positions, because that's something that you have to understand as a team. If we're ahead, how do we play that spot? If we have a man advantage, how do we play that advantage?
And playing against INTZ is not that comfortable because I don't think many teams in NA even play close to what INTZ does. Like, they're a lot faster on doing their defaults and executing bomb sites, but not. INTZ is playing so slow. Like, teams don't practice that way. They don't practice like it's the finals of every tournament, every single match, but that's how INTZ plays. They play like it's every match is a finals, and they just have it so slow. I wonder if Team Liquid is maybe a little caught off guard by that.
One of the problems that I expect to see with this playstyle exploited by Team Liquid is that INTZ do play so slow, so you give up a huge amount of space on the map. And I would expect that Team Liquid will start taking the space on the map, and then that will create problems for INTZ, because they'll figure that out way too late, and then, oh god, we'll never get to a bomb site.
Yeah, if you play a team like this more often, then you'll know what the cracks are and how to put them in a position where they'll just fall over themselves, essentially. Especially in how they use the clock. Anti-Eco ran 15 seconds on the clock, for example. If there is one, like there's no one in CT right now for the Ts. So if there was a Liquid player there, maybe that's the round one. And it does happen all too often with INTZ. See Nitro dancing, not a favourable engagement to take, trying to get a cheeky headshot with erratic timing, but the spray will keep him in place and then he'll get taken out. Twist moves in with the Desert Eagle and Yell walks straight into it. Can he pick up a rifle? Might pick up another kill if he's fortunate enough. I won't expect that rotation from Zando. 5-1 for INTZ, a great start for them. They've made the money very awkward for Liquid, but Liquid are heading towards their next buy.
Alrighty, so 5-1. Fantastic T-side start for INTZ. And here we go. We have ourselves the full buy from Liquid. The best buy we've seen them on so far. So he'll be smoked away. And Liquid will be more concerned with trying to hold on to these mid positions. You can see 2 men in connector, 1 in cat. It's a strong setup. Up on catwalk, Alige watching for underpass and anyone trying to push close. Re-smoke coming in. See how he just drops it in the corner there. And a quick HE as well. Gotta be so careful when you're the CT here. It's much easier as a T to kind of line up where, based off the smokes, where you can possibly be standing. It's like very constricted in connector. Oh, such a good anti-connector position from the cat player.
I love that position, and a Molotov on the stairs limits how much time they have behind the smoke, unless they just re-smoked it. Not quite sure. But there's a man advantage for Team Liquid. Still smokes up. We reached the 45-second mark. So INTZ, they've got the map control they want, so they've got a man in connector. And they start to rotate around towards A. Liquid still being respectful in terms of their map control at the moment. Now I wonder if they'll start to change things and have a retake of that connector position, smoking the palace area where Cello is. And look at the timing on the clock. We've got the Molotovs as well, 26 seconds.
INTZ used all their smokes in mid though, they don't have any smokes, so this might be difficult to take this bomb site. What a position there with that smoke, beautiful stuff. Been using that recently myself as well, pretty strong. Naf with the double, with the triple, just before he burns alive. Although I don't think there really would have been time to do anything for the rest of INTZ anyway. And I think that's part of the problem. You know, you come to a bomb site, you haven't really got enough picks to be in a position where it's okay to have no smokes on such an open bomb site. If they were going into B, it could actually have been a better shout because they had flashbangs, the Molotovs. You just need to get out that initial choke point. That can be actually way more favorable, I think.
Yeah.
They would have been very exposed trying to plant the bomb. And again, it would have been a desperate scramble with the time on the clock. And now we've got Liquid taking map control away. And this will waste even more time for INTZ. Because what do you do with this? You're already just holding the angles when you're on the buy and waiting. And now there's a hard left corner when you go up that ramp towards mid where CTs can stand behind the boxes, of course. And you're already limited on utility in this particular round, even with full utility on the previous round, as Dan mentioned. Moving into the site, you've got no smokes, no way to help secure even an angle to try and defuse the bomb. So that is one of their last 2 Molotovs used, just to clear top mid, which has been smoked off by the CT. So now you don't know if somebody's there or not.
That's so smart. Because maybe someone was standing there getting burned, and now he dropped a smoke. Now they think there's probably someone up there. That's so smart.
Mind games.
It wastes even more time. KNG, run boosted, the Liege will fall from his position. Chooses to take the fight in mid, didn't need to necessarily.
Yeah.
He could have just left that.
Respect
and they have mid, and they are holding on to some smokes this time, but they would need something. Maybe Zan looking at the radar, he was pretty slow to react. That was the angle he was holding, so that must have been radar.
Yeah, I do think it was a good call for INTZ to try to go for the mid retake, and they've got a player in there. So KNG, that's actually pretty good, and they've rerouted themselves towards the A bomb site. And Stewie with that UMP getting so much value will get taken down eventually, but they saw the bomb now, and they know that there's just one player on A ramp, so they can, and they know that one's in mid, so they know where basically everybody is. Good flash though coming in from Cello for Kianji. The NAF is just locking it down with the help of Twist. And once again, INTZ are making the rounds look pretty competitive, but then when you get to the last like 30 seconds, you're like, actually, there's actually no advantages for them to find now. They're actually playing a massive uphill struggle, and actually, it reminds me of the playing not to lose mentality, where it's like it kind of looks like maybe it's not so bad, but actually you're not set up for anything in the very late rounds.
Yeah, you're not getting enough map positioning, as well as you have such little time to work with. You kind of rushed. Once you get in the bomb site, you have to check corners. You gotta take position, and you know, a lot of these times, INTZ, there's like 15 seconds left. It's not a lot of time to clear everything and get the bomb down and close man, stuff like that.
The other problem too is that not only do they go into those spots with no utility, and then not enough time to check everything, their opposition always knows where they're going because they take so much time. And so Liquid will always know where they're going, and as we talked about in previously in the broadcast, the whole one of the biggest objectives and resources for the CTs is getting information. Because if you know exactly where the attacker's coming, well, you can have 5 players on a bomb site, all in perfect setups and spots, and that's the most ideal scenario that can ever happen for a CT site. So Liquid are getting too much info.
I feel like when you are moving into the bomb site with the bomb with 15 seconds on the clock, you're introducing hope as a factor. And hope is not something you can control. And hope seems to be part of INTZ's game as far as executes into a bomb site are concerned. Having no grenades moving in with sub 20 seconds to try and plant the bomb. You need to plant the bomb to continue the round, basically. That's hope. That requires hope, and that can't be a thing. There is no room in competitive play in any game for hope. Liquid, 3 rounds in a row. Starting to sap the resources from INTZ. Not quite picking up the AKs just yet, though. INTZ are making it expensive, even if they are having limited success at this point. But they're back on the buy. They've got 5 AK-47s. Again, utility is limited, so if Liquid throw another spanner in the works, then that may be very costly for INTZ. They did, however, manage to hold on to some smoke grenades late, but again, the forward plays from Liquid, the pop flash plays, very effective against a team such as INTZ. And we see a change of pace. They're not staring at top mid this time, they look to actually take it.
That's very close. Yell waiting, lurking, and that's a missed shot from Stewie, and that's going to be bomb side. So just like that, an explosion coming in here. Twist. Ooh, Zan reacts very quickly to that one. The M4 betraying Twist, and now it's down to Nafly to do some damage. And I mean, potentially, I don't know if he's going to be just thinking about trying to save this. Their money is not very good. They've yet to really establish that economy. So perhaps it's a fight for survival at this point. INTZ will be going for the plant on A. A plant at the 1 minute mark.
INTZ looking a lot better this time around on their T sides. As we're talking about waiting too slow, as you saw right there, Yell got into a very aggressive spot. Team Liquid didn't even see him go to that spot. He's right here in this corner. And he catches 2 players off guard. You might be kicking yourself with Team Liquid. It's like the idea is to push against these guys, but now they're looking for push. They're having actually a good crossfires and setups for these anti-pushes, which in theory you're supposed to do against a slow game style play. Like super slow. Maybe the Liquid's being a little too antsy too early. You know, gotta find that timing window where you're able to push without being punished.
Absolutely.
So even though INTZ have not won every round, they have made it expensive for Liquid, even in the rounds where INTZ have put themselves at a disadvantage time-wise. And that is giving them this space with the eco rounds here and there. So they're actually racking up a lot of rounds one way or another on this T side.
Yeah. No, so I was just to say they're doing a really good job so far, because even though there's some of the we've seen some of the shortcomings in the rounds in which they've lost, they are adding enough explosiveness, and they found it at the right spot. The previous round, for example, that actually has put Liquid massively off balance. So there is a world where they get a really strong T side.
I'd say it's really strong already. 7-4 is what we're looking at. Moving into B with 40 seconds on the clock. That's plenty of time as far as INTZ are concerned. Almost too much. Stewie taken out. The other two players out of position, so the bomb should get planted. I like the free fly towards the boost position. Got to be aware. Good to be aware. And here we are. 7-4 for INTZ. It is a hard to explain scenario.
It's one of those spots where, INTZ, they win the first 3 rounds, they concede one to Team Liquid's first buy, but then they sort of are able to find a victory straight away afterwards, and that sort of ruined Team Liquid's economy. And that's 4 rounds, and then there's an eco for Team Liquid, so then that's another round for INTZ as they survive that. Then we see those 3 rounds in a row where it's like, okay, that really slow pace just not working out for INTZ. They learn their lesson, they speed things up enormously, and Team Liquid's setup, like the round basically leans on this B setup, whereby one player snuck, I think it was Yell, snuck into a corner, and the AWP is showing. He gets a good timing. 2 players, Liquid die, that's the round over. Then their economy is just ruined again. So the way that this has gone for INTZ, everything's fallen into place I think as best as it possibly could have done. And now Team Liquid are back on a full buy. Score close to, don't have all the nades, but you'd imagine that Team Liquid will look for a pretty consistent approach here. And they're going for so this is a big value play against INTZ, but the gap in the smoke could be huge. Oh my god, it's going to work out for a Legion Twist. They'll pick up the frags, but surely there should be a rush into the A bomb site. You've got to know that it's free once you see so many players in mid.
Still stuck in the choke points. KNG's in no man's land. Is he in a trade position? I guess he's not exposed too much to CT. Maybe the barrel sticks out. I'm not quite sure. Spots a jumping player. It's a nice tag from him. Nafly will cross it. Perfect timing. So they know that KNG is creeping on the ramp. They don't really have position, but there are reinforcements coming towards the A bomb site. You can see Nitro pushing through B apartments as well. So the net is closing. And again, Nitro does not necessarily need to flank all the way. He just needs to limit the potential areas where they could be, so Liquid can reinforce the A bomb site. And it'll be a retake situation, it seems. There's a boost, and the plant will be denied. There's plenty of time to fix that, but not personnel. Through the corner of the smoke, you've always got to be aware of that. It continues to be a problem. A ding-dong from Twist, and Liquid survive of 4 players, which is really important for them, considering the problems they've had of winning rounds in the numbers.
So I'm pretty sure there's a way that you throw the smoke where there's no gap there. And I'm pretty sure that INTZ lost rounds against Luminosity yesterday because that smoke, whoever throws that smoke, was just making that mistake repeatedly. Yeah. So that's an enormous leak in the gameplay just because no one's understood that their smoke is bad. So that's a problem. That's easily fixed.
I like the micro adjustment by Team Liquid on SCT side. So we talked about being aggressive, taking away map control, but what was failing for Team Liquid early in the half, there was too many. How do you say? They were too spread thin. You know, you had some people push halls, you got some people peeking middle, so it kind of gave a little advantage to INTZ. But that last round, Team Liquid had 3 people middle instead of like 1 or 2, so this kind of condensed their pushes, which is a little safer, and it worked out pretty well.
Now, will we see something like a flash play into ladder if they head that way? They don't seem to be at the moment. But again, it's all about the dry peaks from INTZ. No pop flash into connector, just dry peaks. They've got players there to trade on this occasion, but again, the off angle is going to be a problem, and that's going to draw out the short player. There will be a trade though, because KNG is top mid, so again, it's made expensive. Twist with maybe a preemptive shot there into the smoke from the A bomb site. And now he takes position and possession in and of connector. 3 remaining players for INTZ. This day they can still be brutal. So the place where Stewie is playing, He won't be showing to Palace. He's crouching, so if somebody comes out of Palace, they won't see him. He's got Twist to deal with that if it's necessary. Grenades, he can raise the alarm in that respect. Some HEs towards Tetris, always good. Big chunks taken from Yell. Jump peeking, spotting, seeing what's going on. And again, a desperate situation. 10 seconds to plant the bomb. Between Stewie and Twist, everything is covered. Got a default plant being attempted, jumping over to Triple instead. Stewie's up, and it's denied. 3 seconds, nothing you can do. The bomb plant is taken out and the round is lost. A common story for INTZ.
Well, said it again, say it before. Gotta give yourself more time. Simple as that. I'm at the strat. The game plan was actually not bad by INTZ. It's just that you don't give yourself enough time. That's gonna... At least INTZ's improving. We've seen improvement since their last matches, which is already a plus, so I'm happy for that. I mean, they got 7 rounds already on T side against Team Liquid. That is not an easy feat.
Yeah, it's looking really nice at the moment. Team Liquid's looking to scrape together those last couple rounds, and their equipment. I think this is the best buy I've actually seen from them. Like, full utility, all orgs, the AWP on Stewie. That's cool. Also cool to see Stewie, you know, on the AWP here. He's pretty devastating on the AWP. He's much faster and more aggressive than, you know, Nitro, for example. And there's a lot of space to move on the map with an AWP on both sides of Mirage. So we'll see him working mids, seeing if there's anybody towards that top mid peak. But here is a very late mid smoke, mid window smoke. I should probably learn that one, and it's easier than the crouching walking forward one that I do.
But that one can be blocked.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, the one that you just kind of hop up and throw, they can be easily blocked by a body. Other smokes won't get blocked by bodies.
Okay, I'll keep doing mine then.
Stewie almost with a great timing there, almost hit the guy moving into the window. So INTZ with reasonable time have got a player in the window, but Stewie is aware of the possibilities and moves out to C2 spawn. So he'll have to tell his teammates jungle is open. And in response to that, you can see Liquid feeling vulnerable from the jungle position. They will have a 2-man push of A ramp. Stewie's rotated to CT, and they've got Nitro looking from B through to a player crossing the crawl space. So this is a very nice reaction from Team Liquid, one that many teams wouldn't have. There's a shadow to tease for Yell, but now they've got to move back into the site, wondering what to do. Gonna pull that grenade out fast, just in time as Alish gets a frag. That's a very cheeky one to get away with. They've still got Nitro watching. He starts to shoot, takes out KNG in the window. So this rotation has worked out swimmingly for Team Liquid.
Yeah, you can see that at every stage, they knew exactly what INTZ were doing. They just based on the setup. I actually really love the way that we saw the movement, as you say, like, you know, connector was open, but it was smoked off. All they had to worry about was window and jungle. As Stewie moves from that angle, you get Nav coming into cover. Oh, sorry, Nitro coming into cover it from market. That's such a sick angle. You're never going to be expecting that if you're coming from window. They know that there's a timing to go for the peak on T ramp because they know it's going to be an A play. I liked from Yell that he teased the shadow because I don't see enough people doing that because it's an easy way to bait out a shot to see if someone's holding that position because it's very strong. But at the same time, Liquid had a 2-man setup there. They knew exactly what was going on the whole round. And you can see that it's basically a checkmate scenario because at that point, INTZ, they don't have time to do anything else. So they might as well just hold them to their weapons. And it's timeout.
That's a cool... I love the response from Liquid in that round and how they changed their shape. Once they conceded the window. Definitely going to remember that one. Got a safe smoke towards the ramp from Twist. Again, a change of pace from INTZ in the last round. That HE is going to go too far, surely. Oh, Cello's going to take it in the face, it seems. Molotov towards default to hold some map control for the time being. That's always an awkward spot. You never know if someone's going to hop over. Or when there's a smoke up on the stairs, it could just burst through it as well. Lovely flick from Stewie. There's the first pick in the round. 1 minute 20, and the INTZ are all over the A bomb site. Right, they're all around the choke point, actually. Only now starting to move together, 1 by 1 in the same position around that sandwich, but they're getting the frags down to a 3-on-3.
Now what? Some good fighting here from INTZ to bring it to a 3-3, but Stewie's the one to take the initiative next, and he's not going to miss his shot. So Kianji and Cello in a difficult spot. They do have the bomb towards A round. I think Kianji just made a sound though, so they'll know that he's still lurking around. And now the scoping as well. Cello is watching for the flank, but there will be no flank. Kianji trying to bait a player to peek from CT. And they know exactly where he is. Good nade does even more damage to Kianji. Nice shot though, looking for the trade from CT, but it's still yet to come. That timing might be critical here as Naf finally takes the CT position. Kianji is going to be forced to go back towards that, and there you go, caught between two angles. Twist will take it. 8-7 for Liquids.
A late recovery from Team Liquid after a difficult start. INTZ breaking the money and then breaking some rounds by timeout as well for themselves. See who's going to take a lead in the second half after this break. What will Team Liquid's T side... Actually, no. What will INTZ's CT side look like versus the likes of Team Liquid? KNG is going to have a lot of work to do. He's leading the frags on his team. Just shy of Nafly by 1 kill, who's currently 14 for 8. We've got KNG's King Snake gloves.
Well, it might look impoverished if they lose the pistol round, because the money will not be flowing. Team Liquids, so we have a pause there, I don't know why, but...
Nice color coordination on his hand.
So Team Liquids, so there's so many different options you can go for a pistol.
That's nice.
I would like to see an A round where we see them just go basically and just take jungle or CT, one of those easy ones. Look, judging from the nades, we see 2 smokes. So I feel like with the 2 smokes, A is much more likely than B. You don't need it that much utility on B, you need only 1 smoke really.
This is alright.
Do the job.
Alright, coordination there. It's the budget coordination, which is fine. Everybody's got different budget. Let's see. Cello, he's got the blue. These guys are on point, man. This is the aesthetics are nice. That knife is very dark though, but there we go. Alright, so we've got Yell moving forward in the mid position. Look at this push from INTZ. It's the most aggressive I've ever seen them. Stewie, though, looks to shut it down with all the bullets in his Glock, and Liquid are all over the A site, flying into jungle, quite literally. No parachutes. Those are danger zone only. Destiny and Yell remaining 2 versus 3. The bomb's being planted for CT as Nafly tries to get there, but he is denied by Yell.
Yeah, so the only problem with that mid push is that you lose position on the site. That's the gamble you take as Twist goes for the backstab. Yell, no HP. No HP. Trying to find those 1v1s, isolate these players as Twist goes for the long flank. And you can see Yell still worried about jungle. It's almost like having 3 players because of the threat level from jungle. And there it is, Nitro finishes it off. And I didn't see where the second smoke went, but one of them went to CT as expected.
Did he throw the smoke? Because it was Stewie with the smoke,
Oh,
right?
maybe he didn't throw. I think he didn't throw. He must have died
for
before he threw
him
it.
going middle, I'm assuming he was supposed to smoke the outside of connector.
Yeah, that would have been cool actually. From top mids, that would actually be. That's actually really cool.
Which you can do it from outside TV room. You can toss that same smoke.
Yeah.
But I think Stewie was trying to cross middle, have attention, and then throw the smoke.
Gotcha.
I'm assuming.
Well, the cash will be flowing for Team Liquid as the mid push comes in. Nice flash though. That will ruin dreams of
That was
Nitro.
nice.
However,
I must get my pen.
what is also nice is the reaction here from Elite. He knows that with that big push, he can push into A. There's no one there because all the bodies were in mid. And so the position has been gained onto the A site, which means the bomb will go down, which means the round is going to be secured. Because once that bomb goes down in an anti-eco, it's basically over. The pistols really start to struggle, and you've got no kit. So
That was a good reaction by Team Liquid. Knowing, seeing 3 people, you got 2 people set up in A, just take it up. Just take A together.
I know we reference pugs all the time, but it is actually something that's really frustrating in pugs when you call that, like, okay, they go for a 3 pushing mid. You see like there's 2 or 3. There's like 2 guys on a ramp and 1 in palace, and they just don't move. I'm like, go, just only one guy now.
No, what's better than that is when the person carrying the bomb decides to stop and try and fight all those people on his own, instead of moving the bomb away to a safer place.
Well,
Then you lose the bomb, they pick up a rifle, they
That's-
lose the round, and you're like, oh, look at my elo, marvelous.
that's some silver stuff. I haven't seen that yet.
Happens all the time. People freeze. Like, oh, all these people are rushing? Let me stand here and look at them. Team Liquid charging towards the B bomb site. Xander's repositioned. He's by default. He's got an off angle. He's taken a leash out, but there's an instant trade from Nitro. INTZ do not have position beyond this AWP angle from Yell. He can stop players making their way towards the bench position. There's a big flashbang coming after the jump. KNG comes out, as does Nitro at the same time, but slightly earlier he gets the angle. And maybe it's time to save. Maybe it isn't. INTZ moving up that short position with 2 players. Yell still has his angle open. Does he know 1 player is by the bench? I think he does. Moving to the point of no return. Nafly running distraction now. Trying to stay alive. It's a big headshot from Nafly. And now surely it's safe territory. Yell retreating from that market position. And it is an 11th round for Team Liquid. 3 from 3 so far.
Yeah, some explosive stuff. I would imagine we'll see from Liquid a default next rounds, which will be a bit slower in pace. But they just sort of focus on map control and just try to feel out INTZ. I don't think... One of the reasons why Team Liquid and Astralis were so consistent for so long as well is because they're more default-based teams, which means that you'll maximize the amount of map control you get typically. You understand the tendencies and the timings of the opposition better. You're able to respond on the fly to what specifically you've seen in that round has happened, and then what is the best response to that thing, as opposed to just having a pre-made response. But that said, it's a contact play into the A-bomb site, so I was completely wrong. And you know what? This is going to work out really, really well. It's worked out very, very well. Oh my god.
Look at the position on the lead. He gets in CT spawn and then kills 2 players on TNC. Yeah, we'll have to say that AWP, and you know that's the awesome part about Team Liquid in general, that they're able to mix it up. As you said, you expect them to possibly go in a default.
Yeah, I
but
thought default was coming.
But Team Liquid, I think they knew that INTZ had an AWP, so maybe just do something like, let's just send all 5 people one way, just overwhelm the AWPer if he's in the bomb site, kind of just power their way through. And it worked. It worked pretty well. It caught INTZ completely off guard.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is a timing on Mirage for a lot of teams when you're thinking about dealing with defaults. You're usually going to be sending most of the CTs around mid positions. So there's a timing where if you do a fast contact play, you get out real fast onto a bomb site, and you get so much position for free. So that's cool. So this is kind of the run I expected. This is more of a default. You've got 2 players top mid, you've got 1 underpass coming mid, you've got 2 players around the A-bomb side, A-ramp and Palace. This is sort of what I expected in the previous round. But Destiny will take down 1, Yell will finish off Stewie towards the B apartments, and now it's a 3v5, so we'll have to really see some ingenuity here for Team Liquid, and this is really cool. The smoke and window still up. Oh, Twist! He's looking for the double there. But I was going to say, even though they've lost the bomb, I like how they're focusing on getting forward positions, because that's how you're going to make something happen. Get a kill or 2, then you can go back for the bomb.
Yeah, Twist got a lot of information. He saw where half the players on the server were after taking out the jungle position. Even though Liquid lost 2 players early, I like the detail we saw from them and how they give teams less opportunity. KNG hopping towards a short position, but they had a flash for the angle, jump past, spotted him there. And that stuff is important. KNG with a clean shot through those vents. Didn't think that was possible, but it doesn't show as a penetration shot.
Does it normally?
Oh, no, what I'm talking about. I'm thinking of people. Yeah, my brain's not working anymore. Elige, 1 versus 3, 30 seconds on the clock. You still see mid being spotted. Doesn't go deep enough to see the angle. I think you would have seen at least a barrel of the gun from KNG, but he moves towards the A side. We can see Cello is repositioning from a ramp. He could be visible. He's got to be careful. Will he be spotted? There he is. And there he goes. Where does he choose to plant the bomb? Elige has got 12 seconds. Molotov towards the toll booth. He's planting inverse, and that might not be a good idea because KNG's lurking. And that's an 8th round. The first round in this half for INTZ, but they look at the money on Liquid. There's plenty more buys to come from them.
Yeah, indeed. And it's such a good spot to be in for them, because if they win the rounds, if they have like 1 round which you think will be super successful, this is the perfect time to throw it in, because they'll break the money, they'll get the 13th rounds, that'll give them the 14th round, as they'll be up against a save. The 90Z's buying the following round won't even be that great. So it's a really strong spot.
So much better with the economy now. They've gone down two rounds of lost bonus INTZ, but we'll come back to that because Liquid are charging into the B bomb side. They've got the wall of smoke. Zan's in the same position, but now he's starting to move around. We've got, what on earth was that? I don't know the science behind that. Space is on Mirage. Everyone's floating around. Cello and Destiny forced away. That was like the police breaking into a stash.
A stash.
What do you call that? Places where where you keep the stash, the den, the drugs den thing from the wire. What's it called? Safe house? I don't know what they're called. It's the place where you have like most of the drugs where they get distributed. They bust into that house and just like clean everything out and the people and stuff. I don't know. Someone tweet me. Somebody help me today. I need help today. Clearly I'm not sleeping enough.
So it's really interesting because Team Liquid, again, as I say, like this is
Stash house. It's called a stash house. Sorry,
no, this is the
yes, it is.
This is the round where you want to get the best. Like, you want to apply what you think will be the most successful round. And so far, the most successful rounds that they have been showing us, based on how they interpret INTZ's CT side, is super fast rounds. So you know, we see these super fast plays into B or A, just like working out incredibly well every single time. And now INTZ, you can see how screwed they are on the money front. So they'll likely half buy this. But yeah, Liquid's. What was that? Was that a smoke that was thrown from like the steps into the B apartments?
So if you stand in there, so at that spot right there,
Yeah.
there's 2 lineups for get left and get right, pretty much.
The arches.
The arches. So it'll smoke off those 2 on the arches. The reason why you probably don't see a lot of teams do that is because it kind of projects that, hey, we're rushing B a lot.
Telegraphs your
telegraphs,
position.
yeah, that's the word. So it really crafts your spot, and it's easy just to counter Molotov, counter flash, and really slow down the other team. But
But if you're
it's
full
good to see it.
rushing, if you're full rushing, it doesn't matter, right? So
Yeah, it's good to see it once in a while.
that's cool. That's real cool. I learned there's actually a B retake smoke on front page of Global Offensive, which was kind of cool.
What is it?
It's you're standing in CT spawns or underneath there's like a little nook underneath the vents, and you just line up with the roof above market and you just throw it, and it lands on default.
In the middle of the site, you mean, or
Yeah.
on default?
Yeah, like where the default part would be. So it just blocks all that off.
It'd be a good one.
So that yeah, so if you're having a time where it allows you to more easily jump through the window, and so on. So I thought that was cool. Retake smokes are not experimented with quite enough. It is getting better and better, but they're really important.
getting through the window can be a problem, especially when you're low on numbers. Which is why, as a team, you need to be careful. People will throw the lazy smoke in front of the window, but similar to Dust 2, although less so. Like if you put a smoke on the window on B of Dust 2, then the CTs can just run through it with a flashbang, which is why you never smoke that. You always molly, but don't smoke.
Yeah.
So smoke in front of the window inside the site can allow the CTs to try something funky.
I actually wonder how powerful a smoke, like one smoke in the absolute center of that little kind of square that is the B area, that would be like how powerful that would be, because it kind of cuts off all the angles to like, if there's guys coming from cat, if you're playing bench where you can't see anything, if there's guys coming from, you know, from market and they're trying to get close to the site, well, your vision's massively obscured. You can only play on the you can only play outside that little square now. So that might actually be something to think about. I might try to figure that out, how you smoke that. Be interesting to try that.
It's got to be coordinated enough to really just kind of clean out the outside or the bomb site, because a lot, I mean, that will invite CTs to hide and kind of play around the smoke a little bit. So you got to be careful not to do the traditional routes of rushing through the site and clearing these close angles. Just maybe sweep the bench and kind of, you almost have to wait it out sometimes. But if you time it right, you probably won't have to wait that long.
5-round lead for Team Liquid. Anti-eco territory with a cameo appearance from an AUG. It might be quite the cameo, an AUG being what it is. A smoke to try and control space. That will be denied, and that is the main threat taken away. The leg has been swept, and INTZ are on their back. Sand can do nothing by the balcony. He'll lie face down. Not the cleanest place. Sanitary conditions are questionable. KNG has no crawl space to crawl through because the vent has not been broken. A liege above the smoke. Doesn't quite see him just yet. He'll get there. A jumping press of the E button may retrieve the weapon, but he'll jump up there himself. He's got his reload. He's only got 1 bullet there and 5 bullets in the AK, but Twist won't overextend. There are some heavily tagged players here for Team Liquid, but I'm pretty sure it will be round number 14 for them.
Yeah, it's looking really good for them now. KNG trying to steal away this AK. Here's the fence. And we'll just wait this one out. So yeah, INTZ looking like they are going to be struggling to get back into this one. And it's partly because, oh, that's an important kill from Stewie. I'll take everything away from INTZ. And it's partly because this next buy is the last chance. And the thing as well about Team Liquid is that they've been rushing AOP. And I wonder if we'll see a fast contact play again, or if Team Liquid will go into the default. We did see the default only like a couple times, I think. It's been more contact and rushy than defaulty from Team Liquid, which to me is unexpected.
I think maybe the only idea is because INTZ has such strong offers. I mean, KNG and then Yell is also going to be a solid offer.
Are they faking? Are they doing like this is like matchmaking level strats? Send one guy with bomb through Palace. Oh my god.
Classic.
If they win this round with this, I would be very shocked. Cello's still on the A bomb site. They need to get more kills to sell this. They haven't got nearly enough frags. Oh my god, it might actually work. It's a 1v4 though. Can Naf actually do this? Can he do this?
Experimentation from Team Liquid.
Matchmaking stuff.
All right, the bomb's been planted. That is very, very interesting indeed. Now there are 2 AWPs for the retake. They're waiting out this smoke grenade. Nafly will walk into a bullet to the chest, and that's a 9th round for INTZ.
That is really funny because like Team Liquid have made INTZ hyper afraid of these super fast rushes, especially to B. So from that point of view, I respect it. Obviously, in matchmaking, it's just bad.
I refuse to believe that there's anything to gain from that.
Oh, of course.
Doing that.
Of course, it's like
I refuse to believe.
Let's have a fun strat. If we win like this, it'd be quite amazing.
I mean,
but
it can work really well if Team Liquid, as you said, got more kills.
Yeah.
Enter the
One,
bomb site.
just a bomb planter on his own.
Well, here's the
they've
idea.
made them afraid already of.
Well, here's the idea. They rotate towards B. You keep a couple of TL in the halls, so after they get some kills, they can run back to a post-plant setup after the bomb's planted. So it's not terrible. It's just it didn't execute properly.
Okay, things are getting a bit crazy. Really hunting that frag onto KNG, and it's cost them everything, including the round. all the discipline we spoke about for Team Liquid has gone out the window in the last 2 rounds, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I think they're just... I feel like what they're doing is just... Like, the last round made sense to me, but...
I refuse to believe it makes sense.
It makes sense because what they've conditioned INTZ to be hyper afraid. They've already shown that oh my god, Twist, surely not. This is ridiculous from him. Can he find Kianji right below him? No, he can't. That was a pretty awesome effort, but the point is that they've conditioned them to be hyper afraid of B. So as Eric
he's supposed
says,
to rotate people to help the bomb.
As Eric says, they're going to be over rotating. So you do put it's not.
But how does it help you win the round? Because they committed everyone there apart from the bomb planter.
Well, I mean, again, if you get the kills, you keep a couple people in the halls so they can rotate and fall back. Obviously, if they all jump out and all die, it's not going to work. But the idea behind it is to get some kills, throw the fake, make them over-rotate, and then once the bomb's down in A, planted, the people that fall back can be in pretty strong post-plant spots, like on Catwalk or even falling all the way back to T-ramp, whatever.
It gets really weird. Yeah.
I don't see how you can plant for Cat there without significant risk.
Well, if they got kills, I mean, there's no one in A, right?
Yeah.
It's about timing thing. It's just,
I don't like it.
and if it worked, it'd be like, oh my goodness.
No, don't again. Stop trolling me, Eric.
It also has to be considered as well that at this level of play, it's also all about what the team has already done in the past, because that impacts the reactions in the future as well. And Liquid have been abusing fast rushes into sites.
Yeah, but there's plenty more they can do than send a bomb on its own with no rotation whatsoever.
That's a nice shot from Stewie. That's a really important kill. The ticket guy is really important at stopping players out of connector. Twist just wins a heads-up fight there against Cello on the bomb site, and now things are completely...
Don't get too far away.
This is terrifying.
Oh! Okay, that'll do. That'll do. The patience pays off. Destiny, though, has the high ground advantage, and he is dead now, so never mind. Zand with 17 HP is going to try and save his AWP. Stuck in a corner. Now he's got to try and hide in plain sight. There's a flashbang. That won't work out. Does he go for a no-scope if Twist goes for a creep? Anyway, it is going to be game point for Team Liquid. Surely you can spray this through. You can spray through the wall.
You can. He's just not doing it.
Oh, 17 HP. Is he going to do it? Eventually, he's going to do it.
Oh, he's looking at him. Do it.
Why is his knife out?
Wow.
That was a thing.
So, Siggy, what do you think about that fake?
It all depends on the B kills. I think, I mean, I haven't seen them do it before, but I think it can be a legit strat. You just need the kills on B, really.
It's a one strat, James. It's not a default. It's not a consistent strat. You do one. One and done.
You guys are being too nice. You guys are afraid to have a strong opinion.
You're afraid of taking chances.
That is my strong opinion.
You're afraid of taking chances.
I just want some elo, Eric.
We'll get you that.
INTZ are struggling in this round. They've got 2 players with pistols and 2 players with SMGs. KNG is naked with his AWP. He must survive. He's got to do a lot here, surely. Surely it's down to him. Where is KNG? Where is he? Moving around. He's got to be an aggressor.
Would you trade a knife for Elo, James?
Never.
One of your knives?
Never. I love my knives. They make me happy.
Would you trade any skins for Elo?
No, not at all. It's not an exchange. I want to win. I just want to win. I'm committed to doing it the hard way, just like everybody else. I don't want to be special.
It's not that hard. Come on, you got this.
Yes, it is. Have you watched my stream?
I was there. Level 3.
Let's focus on this round. Oh, KNG's just scoped at exactly the wrong time. That's absolutely brutal. You're playing against game point, and you scope as soon as they peek, and you can't do anything. That is not what you're looking for. KNG now has kind of conceded his position. Big flashbangs coming in towards CT. Destiny gets taken out towards the stairs position. The bomb plant will not be denied. Nothing but headshots coming in from Team Liquid. Zand and Yell remain. Another headshot, leaving it to Yell with a Desert Eagle. No grenades, no nothing. Sound cue made, they know where he is now. Surely it's heard from Connector. He's picked up an MP9. That won't help him too much. I don't know if I wasn't paying attention. I don't know if there was a kit at all. Won't matter. The final headshot is landed and Team Liquid take Mirage.
Yeah, really well played by Team Liquid. INTZ as well, you know, I think it was a perfect storm on their first half, not to take any credit away from them. They made some great moves. I think what was really interesting, if they look at that first half, it could have been more. There was some good opportunities for them to have more, so I hope they review the demo, because there was that string of 3 rounds which Liquid won, where INTZ put themselves in some decent positions and had everything going for them, but they didn't understand how to develop themselves into the late round and maintain an advantage to get a bomb down, get a post plant, and close it out. And instead, they were undone by their own slow pace. So that's the evolution that I really want to see for INTZ in the future. And I think they've got great players. You know, Kianji as well. It's always good to see him going off. You know, he had a lot of impact in getting them that early lead. So good first half from INTZ with more potential to be more. The CT side against Liquid is always going to be very hard.
Hard indeed. As you know, we usually see INTZ with a good CT side, but Team Liquid coming out above and beyond on their T side. Timing's great, flashing for each other, mixing up strats. We saw a couple B rushes. We saw a fake B rush with Bomb A. It was great. I loved it.
Scores on the doors. We can see Nafly with 2,500 damage, 25 kills for him. An interesting game of Counter-Strike on Mirage. INTZ with double figures, more than some may have expected, but that is 1-0 for Team Liquid. We move to Dust 2. Again, both these teams fighting to fight MIBR tomorrow to fight for a place in the finals. The final place in the London LAN finals. If you want some tickets, ecs.faceit.com. Student discounts available if you are a student. We're all students of the game, and there's more games to come after the break, which will be coming very shortly indeed. But there is the URL, ecs.faceit.com. Get in there, get some tickets. We'll see you on the other side.